Welcome to this video tutorial from spssvideotutor.com. I'm Jacob Mays, and today I'm going to demonstrate how to perform and interpret a chi-square test for goodness of fit. In this demonstration, we want to test whether the proportion of smokers in our data file is equivalent to the proportion of smokers reported from another study. This other study reported that 20% of its respondents were smokers. So, in order to compare the proportions of smokers in our study to the proportion of smokers in the other study, we first go up to Analyze, down to Non-Parametric Test, and then chi-square. In step 2, we select the categorical variable of interest and move it into the test variable list box. So in this case, it's smoke. Okay? In step 3, we go down to expected values. And because we're comparing it to another study that indicated that the proportion of smokers was 20%, we click on values. And since our first value is yes, meaning smoker, and that corresponds with 20%, then we put 0.20 in this box. We click add, and for the remaining value, we type in 0.8 and we click add. Now, the first value always corresponds to the first value in your data file. So if the first value is a 1, this number corresponds with 1. If the second value is a 2, it corresponds with a 2. If you have a third value, which is 3, then that corresponds, the third value, the number that would go here would be associated with the 3. Now, if all of your categories proportions were expected to be equal, then you would select all categories equal. Meaning that if our two smoker groups, one meaning smoker, two meaning non-smoker, if we expected them both to be 50%, then we would select all categories equal. Additionally, if we had a category or a variable that had 4 categories and we expected them to be all equal, then each category, each of the 4 groups would be 25%, and we would just highlight all categories. Okay, but in this case, we have 2 categories, and the comparison we're making is with another study that said that 20% were smokers, 0.20, and conversely, 80% have to be non-smokers. Now remember, these values in this box always have to add up to 1. No matter how many categories you have, they always have to add up to 1. Okay? So finally, we click OK, and we come to our output window. In the first table, you have observed and expected frequencies. The observed frequency is the actual number of cases in your data file. So there are 85 respondents who say they smoke, and there are 351 respondents who say they do not smoke. Okay? The expected frequency is the number of cases that should be in each group based on the proportions that we specified in SPSS previously. So based on the 20% proportion that we put into SPSS, our expected N for this cell, or the expected number of smokers, should be 87.2, and the expected number of non-smokers should be 34.8. Now let's look at the second table. The test statistics table indicates whether there is a significant difference between the observed and the expected frequencies. In this table, we see that the value for chi-square is 0.069. We see that the degrees of freedom is 1, and we see that the significance level of the chi-square value is 0.792. Because the significance level of the chi-squared value is greater than 0.05, this indicates that there is not a significant difference between the observed and expected proportions. Now you know how to perform a chi-square test for goodness of fit. If you have any questions, please submit them to jacob@spssvideotutor.com. This has been a video tutorial from spssvideotutor.com. Thank you for watching and much success with SPSS.